Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. I hope you're having a beautiful and wonderful weekend, but I can tell you who isn't, and that's the most odious of all newscasters, CNN's ultra-leftist Jim Acosta. Reports are that he is gone. He is gone. You're fired, as number 45 would say. John Nicosia, managing editor over at Mediate, broke the story earlier this week saying that sources inside CNN were telling him that another big name was about to get the boot, but he promised his source he wouldn't reveal the name until the end of the week. Well, here we are, and Nicosia announced that it was indeed Jim Acosta, who of course was the CNN White House correspondent during the Trump years, who turned out to be more of a heckler than a reporter, right? That's why we always affectionately refer to him as Jim Acosta on this channel. Now, if you don't know, Nicosia is the one who called the Stelter firing, okay, the dismissal of Mr. Potato Head himself, Brian Stelter, in the same exact way as sources inside CNN gave him the scoop. Lo and behold, within days, Stelter was shown the door, as it were. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. So according to the same sources, Acosta is also on his way out as well. Now, it ought to be said, this comes as no surprise. There was a report from Axios back in June that both Brian Stelter and Jim Acosta were destined for the unemployment line. Of course, Stelter was the first to go. He left in disgrace back in August. And as the report detailed, this is all part of new CNN chairman and CEO Chris Licht's attempt at rebranding CNN. He wants to turn it back to a relatively nonpartisan news organization like we saw in the days of Bernie Shaw and the Desert Storm coverage in the early 90s, which really put CNN on the map. Those are the days we had Crossfire. Pat Buchanan was on there debating leftists. I mean, you had real debate. It was generally nonpartisan. Rush Limbaugh was on there a lot. Larry King. It really was the golden age for CNN. Well, Licht wants to go back to that model because he sees no other way of salvaging CNN. Right? If you're a regular to this channel, and if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. But if you're a regular, you'll know that we have been faithfully documenting the ratings purge, the ratings implosion that has haunted CNN, especially over the last several months. If you don't know, this year, CNN's ratings are down an astonishing and embarrassing 90%. They have lost 90% of their audience from their height in January of 2021. They fell from averaging upwards of, say, 3 million back in 2021 to today. They're lucky if they get 500,000 viewers. It has been an utterly astonishing collapse for what was once considered a major news network. And according to this new CEO, Chris Licht, the only way they're going to be able to save this network is if they pivot, if they change course and go back to what worked, right? So, and if they're going to do that successfully, then obviously the leftist likes of lunatics like Jim Acosta need to be thrown overboard. And according to this report, that's exactly what we're going to be seeing this week. And keep in mind, too, it's not just Acosta's obnoxious woke leftist sentiments that are a problem. He was just a bad broadcaster. Not even CNN's loyal audience liked him, and we've got data on that. You may not have known that he actually had his own show. And of course, you wouldn't have known that because obviously nobody watched it. But the key here is that that's not an exaggeration. It was a weekend show called CNN Newsroom, and Fox News did a report on it. And I kid you not, it was so bad, it was so reprehensible that 3 weeks into the program, okay, after Acosta's program first started, just 3 weeks in, Fox found that CNN viewership actually dropped 40% during his show. The average CNN viewership for a Saturday was consistently 40% lower whenever Acosta's CNN Newsroom aired. And they found that whenever Acosta was on CNN anytime during the week, the average viewership dropped 30%. I mean, the guy's ratings were absolute poison. He was a disaster, and even CNN viewers knew it. So obviously he's not going to be missed. But the bigger picture in all of this is that this transition for CNN is an admission. It's an admission that the days of the left-wing media are indeed coming to an end. You can lie only so long to your audience before they abandon you. You can push only so many conspiracy theories before your ratings start to plummet. And that's what happened to CNN and the whole of the lamestream legacy media. There's an inextricable link between the implosion of trust surrounding the legacy media on the one hand and the implosion of ratings on the other. The business model of news media is based on trust. And if your audience no longer sees you as a reliable mediator of information, your audience is going to abandon you, right? And no one is learning that lesson more today than one Jim Acosta. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and definitely check out my latest video on the Democrats who just ended their own campaigns just weeks before the midterms. It's glorious. You're going to love it. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.